Repurpose, renew, and reuse. That's what we always encourage you to do. And this is the perfect example of all three. This is a reclaimed piece of wood in the background that's been cut into this block. And then it's been faux finished or painted with layers and layers of paint. The hardware that's then been placed on it is easy to find. With all the Victorian homes that were torn down, so much of this hardware in brass and glass is easy to pick up at salvage yards or yard sales. Then you could attach it to your piece of wood. I like this one because it's Art Deco and it really has a nice shape. Once you attach your hardware, then you can put one of your favorite inspirational either scriptures or maybe a poem, and you can paint that over the top. Now to me, this is the perfect example of reusing and renewing and repurposing. Old hardware, old wood, new piece of art. Well, you know, you've heard of stenciling, you've heard of ragging and sponging and faux finishing and plaster and all of those faux finish terms. Well, Jennifer Walls can do it all. In fact, she did our set right here on LifeStyle, and she's here with me, my good friend, Jennifer Walls. You're so sweet. I'm so glad to have you back on the show.
Thank you.
And you look fabulous too, because you know you've got that faux finishers you always have. And we got to show her nails too. She's got these nails, you know, it's got the color. So anyway, we're glad to have you back on the show. You did our set for us last year when we started, and you've done so many homes for my clients, and I'm so excited that you're back. Tell us though about your business, Wall to Walls, and what you do.
Well, my business is Walls to Walls, and I do any kind of decorative painting or regular painting. Also, we offer full service painting. So the decorative finishes can go anywhere from your kitchen cabinets, furniture, walls, ceilings, floors, outdoors. The list goes on.
And if it is literally, if it is a surface of any kind, Jennifer can paint on it. She knows how to prime it correctly, and she's even doing some outdoor iron railing for me for one of my clients right now. She can faux finish over anything and any color that you might want. And you know, some people get this in their mind, Jennifer, the old sponging, and it's just not. But listen, she knows all of the modern techniques to bring us into this century, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, well, let's show some of your samples. This is some of your work. Just give me a brief synopsis of what we're seeing right here. Now, this is something you can do on the wall.
Yes, it is. This is a stencil, and then it has a foil effect over it, over the top of it. So
I like that. And look at the bottom one too.
it has kind of a crocodile pattern is what we call it. And so this is just in a different color, you know, to give it a different look.
Ooh, I like that foiling. And you know, Bonnie and I were just talking about it. That glam look is all the rage right now.
Yes, everybody likes a little bling.
And then let's see the next. A little bit of bling doesn't hurt anything, does it? And look at that. That's really pretty. Tell me about that. It's soft, but it still has a lot of...
So this has a very soft background, and then the stencil itself being a larger diagram, and then having the metallic over the top of it. So.
I like the splatter that you did there. You know, I mean, I will have to say, I know that a lot of this, and we're going to do a little do-it-yourself today, but I will have to say that when I have done the splatter paint before, you know, it's crazy because you start flipping that brush, and I mean, it ends up in your hair and your eye, and this girl, she shows up looking this good on the job. Okay, next.
Okay, this is another metallic finish, has a little bit of shimmer to it, and this is just to show you different designs that you can add sporadically, you know, around, or you can do it. The bottom half here doesn't have
I like this
anything with
contemporary.
it, so
It's a little bit more contemporary.
And it's in your blues
looking.
and your gray, so it goes with a lot of different things, and a lot of people like those colors. So.
And this next one, I like this because this brings in the turquoise, and you know, everybody, we were just talking with Bonnie about color. Boy, this has a lot of layers.
Yeah, and the top layers are you know, toning down a little bit of that bright turquoisey color that you might want to be your pop, but this also has a lot of texture.
I was going to say, it kind of has a crusty feel to it.
Yeah.
It feels like you've just put layers and layers on top of that. That is so pretty.
But it doesn't feel as crusty as what it looks.
Yeah.
So it looks And so this is actually, if you were to, get tired of it one day or something and want to go back over it, it's a simple sanding of the wall, just like you would prep the wall anyway, and then you can paint right over it. So,
well, actually, it's the simple sanding that all you have to do is call Jennifer back when you get ready to change it, because it's so much easier to watch somebody else work. Well, hey, let's do a demonstration. What I like about this is that you've got something to show us today, and I mean, you will do faux finishing for people for their cabinets. We're going to show samples of that coming up. Their walls, ceilings, we've done ceilings together, so many different surfaces. It's just going to do a little demonstration for us. So let's get started.
Okay. I've just taken a old picture frame and I painted the outside of it. And so we have the piece of glass that's inside of it.
So any little frame that when you've got a little 5x7 or 3x4.
Any size frame you can. I mean, this is just a way to display it. So
let's show them what we're going to actually try to do. I think that would be great. Let's show both of these. Now this is actually a stencil and it's foil. So and that's actually on glass. Both of these are on glass.
This is on a tempered glass, so it's a little heavier, and then that way you can actually set hot things on it. This one is just like, an inexpensive picture frame, so doing like we're doing right here, just so that you can see kind of an after, and this is the,
and now, didn't you tell me too that this was used, or you had used this previously for a backsplash?
I did a backsplash on this one right here.
Oh, okay.
But this right here, you could do this on a glass table. Like everybody gets tired of their just plain glass table where you can see through it. You could do this on the bottom side of the table, and then therefore you can put glasses and wet things, and it'll withstand all that.
Oh, I love that. Okay, so now we know what we're gonna make. So let's get started. Now you've already cleaned this, and you put some etching. What is that?
I put an etching primer on it, and that's for glass.
Okay. And now that etching primer, she was telling me, just sort of, how it kind of roughs up, like when you sand something, it just kind of etches it just a little bit, so it will take whatever it is you're going to put on top. Primer is always very important. Now, what are you stippling on there?
I'm stippling a size on here, because anytime that you're using foil, you have to use a sizer.
Okay, so this is a sizing.
And I'm got a little too much, so I'm taking some of it off.
Okay, so a sizing is just that makes it where it's going to almost like a glue to let the foil adhere to it.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so take that off.
Okay, so you used a fleur-de-lis, and you could use anything that you wanted to, but this was a stencil of a fleur-de-lis. She laid it right on the glass, and then she put the sizing on that.
So you can see the imprint of it. And so that has to dry for just a few minutes.
Okay, so while that's drying, we're going to give that a little chance to dry. One of the things that you and I talk about is any surface you can paint on. Now, you also have scaffolding, so you can literally paint a house as well. Tell me a little bit about those surfaces while we're waiting for paint to dry.
Just depending on what it is. If it's your walls, you want to properly prepare your walls, and sometimes if you're going over an older color or a dark color, then you need to prime it with a good primer so that everything adheres. Primer is what is going to make the paint stick. Then it matters what kind of paint you use, and then it also matters what you seal it with. So, all the steps that you use in painting matter.
Exactly. And we're going to talk about that too, because you use all types of paints here locally. So it just depends on what color that you want as to where you go to get it. Okay. So now you're ready to add the foil. Now let's look at this foil. Show everybody what this is.
Hold this one up. So here you go. You have a shiny side, and then you have the back side. And you want to put the back side down, because that's where the metallic is going to come out.
So you want to put the shiny side up.
A shiny side up. Okay. And some people like to crumble it and have an effect like that. That's this effect.
Oh, I see.
Where it has a little crinkle and stuff in it.
If you want a crinkle in it, you need to, crinkle it up a little bit.
So you just rub it on there.
Okay, so now what is this little tool that you're using here?
This little tool is kind of like a squeegee, I guess you'd say, or you can use...
or you can use an old credit card.
Yeah. you can use a little brush like this.
Okay. Okay.
And so when you pull it off.
Okay.
Oh, it didn't all go on there, but anyway.
Okay, so when you do pull it off, and when we're doing it real time, but this is what you'll end up with is something like this, so that you'll
see how you can see it right there. But the whole image didn't go on there.
So what you want to do is, when you want to leave it, you want to let that dry, put that foil on, And then when you pull it off, this is what you're going to end up with.
Correct.
And I love that. Well, now we've got some pictures too that we want to show, because you show that we can put paint on just about everything. Tell me what we're seeing here, because I really like this foil that you've done here.
That is the same application that we're doing right now. That was on the back side of a cupboard, and we painted it black first, and then we did this foil method, and we actually crumbled up the foil, put it on there, rubbed it to where it would come off, and that's what we ended up with.
Oh, that's beautiful. And this I really like. This is almost like a crocodile. You know, you and I have been talking about that. My husband wants to do a little crocodile in his a music room. Tell me, what are we seeing there? Like, how did you do those layers?
It was the base coat was painted first, and then I used a special roller, and I used this size that we just used.
Okay.
I roll the roller in the size, creating the pattern, and then I take the foil, and there again, I just put the foil up there, and I rub it around, and it sticks. And that's similar to the sample that we looked at a while ago.
Okay.
Also.
That's beautiful. Now, cabinetry. This was once wood, just your basic wood, and then you've come back over it. Now, what is this process called?
This is a paint with a glaze, and this is a piece of furniture that, you know, it was regular wood, and they wanted it to be a lot more dressy and to match the other things that were going on.
Does this have kind of a little silver leafing too? Did it have a little silver added to it?
No, it's just
in grays.
in the glaze.
Now, we were talking about bringing in color and islands. You were telling me this is a trend now. People are really going for color on their islands.
Yes, they always like a pop of color,
and this is something that you did as well.
That's a metallic finish, a faux finish that.
And it looks like an exquisite wallpaper that you have here.
It looks very pretty. I love it.
I like that. Now, we're seeing a split screen here. On the left was the before shot, right?
Yes, and it was dark wood, and the client wanted it to be lighter, and so that's we did a cream color base with a glaze on it, and so it just really lightened it up. And then in the back of that, those glass cabinets at the top is where the foil finish that you saw the very first picture, that's where that is.
Okay. And now this is a lamp. Now, just taking an old lamp, you don't like the color, but you can paint it.
Yes, and I put a little texture on there so it kind of looks like wrought iron, and finished it, and to have a whole new lamp.
I love that. I love that. Now, you've got some samples too. We want to show some of your samples you've got of your cabinetry. Okay. One of the things that Jennifer can do, she can come to your home. She'll take care of all of the prep work that needs to be done. And here's just some of the samples that the colors that you can get.
This is a multi-layered sample. It can be done on an island, or it can be done on a piece of furniture, or even like a china cabinet or something like that. It would be really pretty. It has the crackling, it has several layers, it has glaze, it has wax. So that's what gives it that aged look. And you can see where the wax, I don't know if you can see where it's lighter and darker, that's where the wax would grab in it. And if we have time, I think
I would love for you to show us. Do you mind to show us how that wax goes on here? I think, let's show them what we have before. This is actually just a piece of wood that you have, and now you've roughed it up just a little bit.
So if you like it plain, without it being scuffed up, or if you want a little scuffing, you just take some sandpaper and you scuff off the paint a little bit. And this is the Annie Sloan paint.
Oh, it is. Okay.
It's the chalk paint.
I like the rough, because that way if you ding it up while you're cooking in the kitchen, well, you don't have to worry about it.
And some people...
Okay, show us how that you apply this. This is the Annie Sloan. Okay.
And I already have a clear coat on here, and the reason why you put the clear coat on is to keep it from absorbing so much of the dark color, and you have a little bit of room to work with it, and you'll see that this kind of just glides on there. And it's like,
this is the scary part, because you put it on, it looks globby, and you think, oh, that's not so good, but then you're just not afraid. You just put it right on, and now you're wiping it off to get some of the excess off of there.
Push down a little bit harder.
Okay.
But
now what's happening is that is getting down in the grooves, and look, it's looking aged. Wow. And it really did added some. No, I think it's great. And then this, you can see that it's all in the crevices as well. Well, let's see a couple more samples of some of the cabinetry that you've done.
This is a sample that is, I just used two different colors of the stain. So
Okay.
the way that this color and this color is similar as finish.
Okay.
But with my clients, it always takes the right color and the right accent that they want because it's custom.
Sure.
So sometimes they might like one color and then sometimes they might like another color, and we keep
Sure.
working with that until we get the colors that they want to use.
I
in their
love
room.
that. That's a really pretty finish. Okay. And you've got a couple more finishes here that we want to see.
This is a lighter color base with the glaze just in the crevices, and a lot of people like this. This is a new look. You can
It gives it just a little bit of glaze without taking away the white.
and gives
I like
it
that.
a little tone color. Yes, just in the crevices.
Okay.
And then there's the ones that so we have the dark, the black with exposed edges, and has a little more rustic kind of aged finish to it. So it looks like the paint's been on there for a couple years and gives it that distressed look.
Yeah, I can see right here we've got a lot of distressing going on there. That is so popular too in cabinetries, and that's what you're really seeing in people's homes. They like the distressed, and you bring in lots of the color. We've been talking about color and how to add it into your home. Wow, Jennifer Walls with Walls to Walls, she certainly does bring the color, and she's going to give us a few more tips here in just a few minutes. But right now, listen, are your utility bills getting you down and you don't know what to do about it? Well, the good people over at Foam Works, they will come over and add some insulation. It's a spray foam work. You can call Christina or Josh, and listen, no job is too small. They'll be glad to talk with you about your home and how to save you some energy bill, some money on your energy bills. We could all do that, right? Well, coming up, don't forget, at the end of our show, we always give you some party favors. That's coming up right after the break.